I now call this Village of Hebron Council meeting to order at 6 p.m. on Monday, March 2nd. Please stand as you're able and join me in reciting the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bull.
Here.
Mr. Giovanelli.
Here.
Mr. Carpenter.
Here.
Hoskinson.
Here.
Chapman.
Here.
Mr. Marietta.
Here.
Thank you, Council. We have quorum. Thank you, visitors, for attending this evening. If you've not already done so, please sign in and get a copy of the agenda. There will be opportunities to speak at 2 points in the agenda labeled visitor comments. Council meetings are recorded and provided to council and the public for review. Meeting minutes are official once the recording is approved by Village Council by a majority vote. Today's recording will become the official record of minutes once approved. The recording is available online at the Village of Hebron YouTube channel. Now seeking a motion for approval of the minutes for the February 23rd, 2026 council meeting.
So moved.
Second. I have a motion from Councilmember Giovanelli and a second from Councilmember Hoskinson. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Marietta.
Yes.
Mr. Chapman. Yes. Ms. Hoskinson.
Yes.
Mr. Carpenter.
Yes.
Mr. Giovanelli.
Yes.
Mr. Bull.
Yes.
Thank you, Council. It passes 6-0. We have this time reserved on the agenda to hear comments from visitors regarding topics not listed on the agenda. You should have signed in. Please be sure to state your name and address for the record. There is a 5-minute limit for each speaker. We're very eager to hear what you have to say, so please speak loudly and clearly into the microphone. Thank you. We have none. Okay, the next item is legislation. The first one is ordinance 01-26. It's an ordinance creating the position of Economic and Community Development Assistant Director for the Village of Hebron, Ohio. This is the second reading. The next item is ordinance 0226. It's an ordinance amending the position of the Village Clerk of Council for the Village of Hebron, Ohio. This is the first reading. The next item is ordinance 0326. It's an ordinance to amend ordinance 2025 to provide for adjustments of the annual appropriations for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2026 and declaring an emergency. This is the first reading. However, we do or don't need to.
I don't think we're
Tire straits,
no.
so we can let it go for another reading. Okay, thank you.
Make a motion. Oh, we don't need, no, we're not going to declare an emergency. Sorry.
No worries. Thank you. The next item is council action items, and the item at hand is a JED board member. So folks may recall that we have decided to participate in a joint economic development district with some of our neighbors. And this is in the Kirkersville area. And we want to have representation. We should have representation on that board. And I'm seeking a motion to nominate Randy Wolf for that position.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion?
Oh, no.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Ms. Hoskinson.
Yes.
Mr. Giovanelli.
Yes.
Mr. Carpenter.
Yes.
Mr. Bull.
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman.
Yes.
Mr. Marietta.
Yes.
Thank you. It passes 6-0, and that was the motion to nominate. So now we need Are there any other nominations? Do I need a motion to close nominations?
Yes. To be appropriate. So moved. Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Juvenile, a second from Councilmember Carpenter. Roll call, please.
Mr. Wolf,
Yes.
Mr. Carpenter,
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman,
Yes.
Ms. Hoskinson. Yep. Mr. Juvenile.
Yes.
Mr. Marietta.
Yes.
Okay, the motion to close nominations passed successfully 6-0. And finally, I'm seeking a motion to appoint Randy Wolf as the JED board member.
Seconded.
A motion from Councilmember Hoskinson and a second from Councilmember Juvenile. Roll call, please.
Mr. Carpenter,
Yes.
Mr. Marietta,
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman.
Yes.
Ms. Hoskinson.
Yes.
Mr. Wolf,
Yes.
Mr. Juvenile.
Yes.
Thank you, Council. It passes 6-0. Thank you, Randy, for agreeing to do this. Okay, we're all eager to hear how it goes, because this is a learning opportunity for us. Yeah. Thanks for being the guinea pig on that. All right, the next item is administrator's report.
Thank you. I have one request because we have scheduled council retreat on March 16th. And we also have a combined committee meeting on that day. So I'm asking council to approve the cancellation of the committee meeting on March 16th, so you can have the retreat on that day.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion from, was that Councilmember Chapman? Thank you. I have a motion from Councilmember Chapman and a second from Councilmember Marietta to not hold our combined committees meeting on
March 16th.
March 16th. And in place of that, holding the council member refresher.
Right here. Yeah.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Wolf,
Yes.
Mr. Juvenile,
Yes.
Ms. Hoskinson.
Yes.
Mrs. Chapman.
Yes.
Mr. Carpenter,
Yes.
Mr. Marietta.
Yes.
Thank you, council. It passes 6-0.
Thank you. We just had a water and a wastewater committee meeting before this regular meeting. We talk about the utility rate issue. We also talk about the fire hydrant replacement and repair status. I advise the committee that water superintendent Jason Figgins will provide his semi-annual report in April. And that will be one of his topics to share with the council on the hydrant replacement and repair status. And also, I provided myself and fiscal officer Morgan provided the committee the financial information as far as the utility funds. It does not look good. But that conversation, we will have more conversation on that one, and then at some point this month, we may need to schedule a finance committee to review that, the recommended rate. And lastly, I want to give a shout out to Cody Senford, who had just passed the water operator one. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Currently, he's a labor, so he will be promoted to be a operator one position. Also, Sean Colonets, currently assistant superintendent, also the operator one, certified operator one. He also passed the operator two. So it looks like everybody is taking stride to be further certified. Unfortunately, the current labor operator one, Richard Home, will be retiring at the end of March. On the wastewater side, Keith Cohen, currently Assistant Superintendent for the wastewater, will retire at the end of July of this year. So we will go through the job posting and finding the right candidate to fill the positions. Other than that, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Will council have an opportunity to say goodbye to folks?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. All right, the next item on the agenda is council members' report. Councilmember Marietta, would you like to start us?
I actually don't have anything, but I'd like to reserve comments until later if I could, if needed.
Okay,
Thank you.
I had one thing, I was reading over the, annual report, the 2025 annual report, very nice. The opioid settlement funds, we did not use any and the funds keep growing. Do we have plans for that? Is there just certain things we can use that for? It
Yes.
continues to grow, what are we?
It's highly restricted. Unfortunately, we're kind of limited. Those funds are only used to promote say no to drugs, any drug campaigns, things like that. A lot of those funds really, I think, were earmarked for bigger communities that have community centers, hospitals, some to where they could utilize that money for drugs, prevention. So we're gonna have to try to get a little creative on what we can use that for, but we have briefly talked about it, so we there's we thought about Narcan for police department. Unfortunately, they get that free through the health department, so we're just exploring what we can use that money for. That's why we haven't spent any yet.
Okay, I noticed that, and then one other thing I noticed too. And that's for the police department, yay. OVIs went from 6 to 2. And we still have bars in the area, is there any reason why, that you see that drop dramatically, or just good luck, or?
Yeah, I don't know that there's anything in particular that caused this sharp drop off, but
Yeah,
I know that we're actively enforcing, and we've got the new breathalyzer machine also at the end of last year, or I guess middle part of last year as well, so that's gonna help us to be able to continue with that and expand on that too.
yes, I was just almost less than half, it was like kind of strange, okay,
can I speak to that for a moment?
sure.
Okay, if the number was 600 and it reduced to 200, that would be very different because the sample size is so large, but when the sample size is less than 10, the data actually becomes suspect because it could have just been a crazy weekend that one year, right? That could have accounted for that. So when we're looking at numbers that change drastically, but they're so small, we need to be careful just to make sure that we're keeping in mind that sometimes one little thing can create a big anomaly.
That was the only thing that jumped at me with those two things, but very nice report, thank you.
I wish I could take credit, but everyone did all the work.
That's all I had.
Thank you. Do you not have anything this time? Okay, thank you.
I was asked, in our meeting prior to this water reclamation meeting, if the water department would like to be a part of the finance meeting when we talk about the utility issues. I think that would be a good idea.
I was planning on
Okay.
having them
Yeah.
anyway.
Okay.
I think first and foremost, to Administrator Chen's report, I would echo the congratulations to the two individuals of whom successfully passed their certifications. I can only imagine the work and obviously the studying that goes into such an endeavor. And again, just very proud and happy to hear that upskilling continues to happen and that the training is occurring there, and likewise across all the different departments I see here in the village. I do have just one question in light of the retirements that are coming up here in coming months. Given this upskilling and the certifications that they now have, are we comfortable in terms of, dare I say that, potential time period of which there may be a vacancy in part of the retirement, that services will continue without any issue.
That is the plan.
Okay,
Any individual retiring, and we just need to make sure that our service has not been impacted at all.
okay. And it sounds like that's well in place. Recruitment will begin and obviously the upskilling is there.
That's correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
That is everything I have on my end. I think the only other thing to mention is to Public Works as well. Thank you for dealing with what is a lovely another batch of snow. There's nothing more mesmerizing than to go from 60-degree weather to 20 and snowing in this lovely part of Ohio. That's all I have.
Thank you.
The only thing I got is these new signs look pretty nice. Since you took them off the top there, it's like you opened this up or something that you can see. But I don't have anything else.
Okay, thank you. The next item is the mayor's report. Yeah. So last week we had the ribbon cutting and the groundbreaking ceremony for Microsoft. Specifically the groundbreaking for the new data center that's coming and also data centers, and also the ribbon cutting for the pavilion that Microsoft financed, and we worked with the TJ Evans Foundation, and it was installed obviously on their land over by the wetlands, and it's beautiful. Unfortunately, we didn't get to go out there. A couple of council members that were able to join us, it really was lovely. We had great attendance. Everyone seemed to have a really good time. It was very positive. And it was great to have kids from the STEM class here to be able to participate and enjoy that. The immediate response online with regard to the groundbreaking, on the other hand, had a lot of concerns articulated. And the folks who don't live in the village, I can't really help them, right? They don't live here, and so I'm sorry they're disappointed with Hebron's choices. But the folks who do live in the village, we created a video to try to address the concerns that they articulated as best as we could understand them from what was mentioned online. We brought all of those together and then created a video to address those concerns. Obviously, as we go through this process, we will continue to work closely with Microsoft to make sure that each concern that is brought up, we're addressing. And we obviously spoke to the concerns with regard to the usage of water and how the village is prepared to, we certainly have the capacity to offer that amount of water that they were seeking. There were concerns about the air quality and how that would impact residents. And we shared that Village Administrator Chen's team has worked diligently to introduce air quality monitors within the village. And I also provided the link that they could go and look for themselves. So it's not something we're gatekeeping, it's something that we are trying to publicize. Mr. Chen worked directly with Morpsey on identifying the ideal tool to use for that, so that we're using it in conjunction with others in the Mid-Ohio region, and being mindful of the air quality in our area. We also did our own research in addition to what we were told by Microsoft regarding the noise pollution. We also have understandings in writing in our agreement about which hours they'll be there, the noise levels, all of those types of things. And so I just wanted to make sure that if you did not see that, that you are aware that it is out there. I think that I don't know that we're there, but I think that fundamentally, the residents of the village need to decide if they want to have police and have streets that are paved and have the services that we have. If they want that, and we want to be different, we don't want to have businesses coming in, then we need to decide if we want to literally increase our income tax rate. Those are our options, and that's not something for me to decide. That is actually our work as council and mayor to investigate in the village. Because maybe people are now anti-manufacturing, maybe they are anti-data centers, maybe they are anti any development. And so that's something that can be purchased. We literally could have taxation that would bring in enough money for us to buy agricultural land all around the village and make sure that it stays agricultural. And we could literally prevent anybody from coming into the village if we wanted to. But those things aren't free, or everyone would do it already. And so we have to have this conversation with our neighbors. Because I'll tell you, if that's what folks want to do, I'll help. I'll help. I'm not opposed to it. I just think we need to understand what we're asking for when we tell our leadership that we don't want any more business in here. Because that means no more tax revenue, and that means we can't afford to do the things that we're doing today unless we raise more taxes. I think it's important to know that most of the money that comes into the village is for people who come here to work. And so that's what makes our taxes as low as they are, because of the folks who come in here every day to work in the village. But if we're ready to pivot, that's something that can be done. I mean, Granville doesn't have very much commercial, and they certainly don't have manufacturing. They certainly don't have data centers. I mean, that's how they've built their community. And if that's what Hebron wants to do, I think this dais would be surprised by that. But if that's really what the village wants to do, we need to know it. So please engage your neighbors and have this conversation. Is that what they want to do? Do we want to get in the business of buying land and making sure it remains agricultural? We also had questions about if Microsoft was going to keep its word. And Jared, can you speak, do you feel comfortable speaking to that today with regard to what if Microsoft doesn't do what it says it's going to do as far as not wanting the CRA?
Regarding not wanting the CRA and changing it in the future?
Mhm.
Well, it is always the village's prerogative to enter into a community reinvestment area agreement at a future date. And because this CRA is such that an agreement is needed to be entered into, it is ultimately the body's prerogative on whether or not we want to enter into an agreement in the future.
So that means if it did happen in the future, Microsoft couldn't unilaterally do it. It would have to be in conjunction with council.
Correct. This would take a decision of this body for a CRA agreement to be executed.
Okay, thank you. Also, there was concern about data centers polluting the air because they're burning fossil fuels. Some of them do actually just burn fuel right there at their site, but Microsoft doesn't operate that way. They are on the grid, and they're building their own substation so that they have reduced impact on this region. So I thought it was important that we understand that. I think I talked about noise and light pollution, and I talked about farmland. I think that the worries about the release of chemicals into the community, Microsoft uses a closed loop system. So their goal is similar to how an engine, a car engine, has fuel running through it, right? Like to burn. And it also has water and antifreeze running through it so that it doesn't overheat or whatever. But those two things don't actually touch. It's not like they're commingling. So when water is coming into the data center, it's in a closed loop system. So when you hear closed loop, that's what we're talking about. And so it's not like every gallon of water that comes in to Microsoft is going to get a bunch of chemicals in it, and it's either going to go up in the air or it's going to go into our water treatment plant. That is not the design. It's a closed loop in that they're trying to keep those two things discrete, the coolant versus our water that's coming in. I do think that we still have some questions on that, and we will seek more answers on that. And we certainly have access to professionals to answer these questions for us. But I know I said it in the video, I want to say it here. Every time a resident asks a question, it helps us ask better questions too. And so I don't want anybody to feel guilty about asking questions. And I'm hoping when people approach you and they ask you a question that you're making note if you don't already know the answer so that we can get the answer for you. Any questions about that video? Okay.
I'm sorry, I do, Mayor. I was noticing on the village website, it wasn't on there. Can it be posted on there?
The video?
So on the web.
On the web.
About that.
I can put a link on to it.
It's a great idea, thank you. Okay, so no other questions about that?
I just wanted to know, is there any way to get an FAQ posted somewhere?
Yeah, that's
Just
certainly.
kind of like the list of what you just went down,
Mhm.
and as we get more questions, have answers for that.
Yeah. I will say that, that would be under, community and economic development, and they have been very, obviously very busy lately. So it has been a challenge to get that type of information put together in writing. And then also we want to make sure that we send it through Microsoft so we don't misstate anything or exaggerate anything. But I know that that's on our goal list. I just don't know where we are in that effort.
I would add to that by saying, from my own research and what I've seen, Microsoft has been very transparent and open about what they're doing differently with what they're kind of calling their Ohio projects. So explaining in great detail all the different components of their closed loop system, everything that they're looking at in terms of electrical usage, water, it's all out there already, albeit maybe not per se a FAQ format, but you can easily find anything if you just do the right search online. And I'm sure that we'll figure out a way to perhaps consolidate that for everyone's usage more easily through the village as well.
Yeah, my only concern about letting them go search for it is heaven only knows what they find on the way. Right? So I think,
Many other rabbit.
yes, yeah, so.
Not confined or restricted to
Yeah.
what information they.
But having said that, as you come across good sources and feel like they're helpful in explanation, nothing prevents each of us. Yeah, so.
I was gonna say, perhaps I should have caveated, said search on their website, maybe more directly. I apologize. Yeah, I think we all know the lovely rabbit hole we can all go down if we search the right thing. But yeah, that don't.
Thank you.
um,
Okay, anything else on the video from last week? Okay, also this past Friday, if you do not know, if you didn't see it in the newspaper, the the regional campus, Newark campus of COTC OSUN made the announcement that every family in Lincoln County and also Knox County and Coshocton County, if their household income is $100,000 or less, they can go to COTC for free, no tuition and fees. So that's any member in the household. So if you have friends, family, anybody who's thinking about it, that's a fantastic opportunity for our community. Especially with the fact that they're partnering with Microsoft to train people up, ideally for the data centers. And there's plenty of lead time because we don't have a data center yet. So that would be really great. And then the only other thing I have is a letter from a resident. The resident specifically asked me to read the letter. And so I'm gonna go ahead and read that. Dear Mayor Mokus and Hebron Council members, I'm writing to express my concerns regarding the Microsoft data center in the village. From responses online, I see I'm not the only resident with reservations. I understand that Microsoft has a community first AI infrastructure initiative, which sounds great on paper. However, since these are promises other than laws, what happens if Microsoft doesn't follow through? In 2020, Microsoft promised to be a carbon negative by 2030. In 2025, the company saw a 23.4% increase in emissions. Microsoft acknowledges that the increase was due to growth-related factors such as AI and cloud expansion. Although they still have time to reach their goals, showing a significant increase in emissions due to technology they want to expand doesn't look good. Since this was simply a promise and not a regulation, nothing will happen if they don't keep it. The same goes for their community first initiative. In addition, it's unfair to put the blame on the residents for not showing up to community meetings regarding the building of the data center. Since 2024, the data centers have increased rapidly. We now know more about the environmental impact of them than we did 2 years ago. Data centers pose significant health risks to the surrounding community. Fossil fueled power plants and diesel backup generators that power data centers emit hazardous pollutants such as nitrogen oxides and fine particulate matter, increasing rates of respiratory diseases, cardiovascular conditions, and elevating cancer risk in nearby communities. A recent model indicates that the US data centers in 2030 could contribute nearly 1,300 deaths annually, resulting in a public health burden of more than $20 billion. Do we really want Hebron to be the guinea pig to see if these estimates are accurate? What's concerning is we are placing this near a location that's used for exercise by all ages. The health risks are scary enough, but the environmental impact should not be ignored. The data center is planned to be located close to a park where many varieties of wildlife live. Data centers are well known for emitting both noise and light pollution. Noise pollution can cause distress to local animals and in some cases impact their survival. Light pollution interferes with migration and habitat development of many animals that are local to Evans Park. The research is clear, data centers do not help communities but harm them. Why not find another business that will provide more permanent positions than possible 300 that might not even be obtainable for Hebron residents? The Wall Street Journal reports that data centers employ only a small fraction of the people who would work in the same size building if it were used for a business park or warehouse. I urge you to reconsider this plan and back out before it's too late, because ultimately our community is at risk. We don't know what's going to happen if our air quality decreases, if this center uses an abundance of electricity, or if residents start getting sick. The unknowns are too great to ignore. Thank you, Ashley Marietta Brown. And then she lives on Cumberland in Hebron. And a couple of things, I don't know if residents don't understand that we didn't sell the land. We didn't choose to sell this land to Microsoft. An individual American who owned the land chose to sell the land to an organization. And the argument that we could find a more appropriate business with more than 300 jobs, if it was easy to find appropriate businesses with 300 jobs, we would have already done that. It's literally part of the work that our economic development team does. And the other thing I can't help but wonder is, do residents know the rest of our manufacturing? Right? Like that manufacturing has a ton of very large semis driving through, running a lot of fuel through our area, not to mention all of the products that they create. And the impact that they have ecologically is at best the same, probably not as good as a closed loop system for heating and cooling and data. So they're not going to have nearly as many vehicles going in and out. They're not going to have the water pre-treatment requirements that our manufacturing area does. So, there's an environmental group that is very active right now with big concerns about Freepoint. They don't even mention data centers. because their concerns are focused very squarely on economic or the environmental impact. So I think that as we're talking to residents, we really need to just listen and hear what their concerns are so that we can make sure we're noting those concerns so we can address them directly. Every council member received this letter, so. I also had a household member of mine do some research on this, and there were many things about the citations in the letter that can be rebutted. I mean, part of it is that some of the research is pretty old research. It's also talking about organizations that actually burn gas on site, and that's where a lot of these emissions are coming from. So, yeah, I think we just have a lot of educating to do to help people understand. And again, if we don't want businesses in the village, I think that's news. It's news to me because I think we like our low income tax rate. And we need to know that if folks have changed their mind on that, and if we really do want to start acquiring agricultural land and making it stay agricultural.
It hasn't been agricultural, the industrial, Newark Industrial Park out there has been there for 50 years. People who've lived here 5-6 years saying, somebody said, I've moved to Mayberry and now it's changing. It's like, no, the industrial park's been here 50 years. You move to town, which is in an industrial park. It's kind of, yeah, can't see where they are coming from.
Well, and if they really did use the park, they would know in the morning. If you walk that, when the sun's coming up, there's tons of light pollution coming from the backs of the existing manufacturing spaces. There's noise coming from the backs of those existing manufacturing spaces. So it's not like we're dropping this in the middle of, Central Park, New York City. I mean, we have a very thriving business core, yeah.
As far as noise and light pollution, that brings me back to where I was complaining last summer about fireworks and all that scaring the animals and people and it lasting for weeks on time at a time. So,
Well, you know who has the ability to change that, right? Who?
well, we do, if we
Yeah.
all agree on it.
Yeah. Mhm.
So, yeah, so I brought that up last year because it's chaos for a couple weeks.
Any questions for me? Did you have something, Councilmember Marietta?
I know you're all aware of that letter to get from my daughter. The research she did on her own. She has great concerns for the village of Hebron. This isn't about one person speaking here. And I'm not sure as council members, we did the right thing for this village. I think our effort should have been more into getting information, not from Microsoft, but data that is out there that can be used to make a proper decision on people like this. When I heard the name Microsoft, I immediately just basically shut down because I thought, okay, well, there's nothing wrong with Microsoft. And since this has happened, I realize there is a lot of concerns and cares. Saturday night, I drove down to Beverly, Ohio on State Route 6. And along the roads, there are signs on these roads that's in the middle of nowhere, no data centers. So these are like, how are these people reacting with this response? And we did nothing about it. So I just want to.
We did nothing? Could you be more specific when you say we did nothing? Do you mean council did nothing?
No.
I'm sorry.
We as my group of my family and all did not get involved when we should have. I'm not saying
Residents of
council,
Hebron.
yes. I feel like I've failed myself, I've definitely failed the people in this by not getting more information. The fact is, our first conversation was, I want all that information I could get. Well, sometimes you gotta dig it out yourself and not have somebody else present it to you. So I apologize for the people of Hebron that are not in favor of this Microsoft Center. So that's what I've got to say. Thank you for reading that. She'll be very happy.
I'm so sorry, I have one more question. So when you made the motion last week to advance the development agreement, are you saying you wish that you had not made a motion?
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks. All right. Anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you.
I would have a quick question, I
Yeah.
think for clarification, because a lot of the stuff with this data center came to light years ago. And I guess it's the question, it's been how long of a process for which we've had these conversations and understanding of the data center project as it is? 2 years, 3 years?
About 3 years. Just shy of 3 years.
Okay.
I have two questions not related to this topic, if it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm being asked by several residents about the space that is next to the Hebron Dairy Bar, the barber shop. Is there anything that could be shed as to the usage of that space?
I can share what's on public record. It was acquired by the same family that owns the dairy. And they're very interested in utilizing that space to advance some priorities that Hebron is very interested in seeing. And we're very hopeful that it will be launched sometime this year and become a new business in town.
Okay. And the second that I would like to do, is it proper? I may be improper, but I'd like to revisit ordinance 0326. I would like to declare an emergency and waive the readings.
Okay, so you'd like to make a motion to waive the readings of ordinance 0326.
Correct.
Second.
Okay, we can have a second. Any discussion on that? Roll call, please.
Mr. Wolf,
Yes.
Mr. Carpenter,
Yes.
Mr. Juvenile,
Yes.
Osmondson,
Yes.
Mr. Marietta,
Yes.
Ms. Chapman.
Yes.
Thank you, council. The motion to to waive readings has passed 6-0. And now I'm seeking a motion to adopt ordinance 0326.
So moved.
Seconded.
A motion from Councilmember Carpenter and a second from Councilmember Juvenile. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Osmondson,
Yes.
Ms. Chapman,
Yes.
Mr. Carpenter,
Yes.
Mr. Marietta,
Yes.
Mr. Juvenile,
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, council. It passes 6-0. As we have no visitors, I'm not gonna read it again. And then the next item is review of expenses unless otherwise noted. It is understood council members have reviewed the expense report provided and have no questions. The last thing I'd like to do is call your attention to the meeting and event schedule. First, we have council meetings, we have the council refresher training, we have planning and zoning next week. And then into April, we have some information about being closed for Good Friday and some additional things coming up, especially the 5K that's coming up on April 19, marking the date of the shot heard around Pearl. And we do also have Chipper Day and Village Cleanup coming soon. So thank you so much for putting all that out there. And then keep in mind that March 16 is when we're now hosting the council refresher. And unless there's anything else, I'm seeking a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second.
Thank you. I was like, y'all want to stay? A motion to adjourn from Councilmember Juvenile and a second from Councilmember Chapman. Roll call, please.
Mr. Wolf,
Yes.
Mr. Juvenile.
Yes.
Carpenter,
Yes.
Ms. Hoskinson.
Yes.
Ms. Chapman.
Yes.
Mr. Marietta.
Thank you, council. This meeting is now adjourned at 6:45.